I hear of this thing called democracy, and I've travelled much of Skyrim, and much to my chagrin, it would appear to be a whole bunch of hierarchies and kingdoms. You call them Jarls, but I'm curious, have you guys considered democracy? I feel like the companions are almost like a democracy.
You think the companions are like a democracy? You don't know the first thing about us. We're a group of warriors, not some gathering of old men arguing over laws. We have the circle, and they make the decisions. That's how it's always been. What's with all the fiddling with your gear, anyway?
Well, you misunderstand. I think the circle is just like the manner of democracy in terms of opinions are brought forward, considered and voted upon, which seems the best way to do things, whereas in these kingdoms, in these, great halls, men who seem to think they're almost gods make decisions for the people. How is that right? I'm suggesting to you, the companions, to do things in the right way.
I'm still trying to figure out why Skyor let you in the first place. You think you can just waltz in here and tell us how to run things? The Circle doesn't make decisions based on opinions and votes. They make decisions based on what's best for the companions and the people of Skyrim. And as for the kingdoms, that's not our concern.
You don't have to be an angry cow about it. I'm just suggesting that the manner in which the companions functions is not dissimilar to a democratic process. Am I wrong?
Fine. If you want to get all philosophical about it, I suppose you could say that the Circle's decision-making process has some similarities to whatever it is you're talking about. But don't think for a second that means we're going to start holding votes and listening to every Tom, Dick, and Harold's opinion. We're warriors, not politicians.
Well, thank you for sort of agreeing to what I'm saying. I'm just suggesting that I don't know whether Jarls get off thinking they can make decisions for the people, and those decisions don't necessarily think of their welfare. Can you explain to me how the companions decide who makes those decisions and what's the process?
Spare us the politics, friend. The companions have been around for centuries. We've got a system that works. The Circle's made up of the most experienced and respected warriors among us. They make the decisions and we follow. It's not about voting or opinions. It's about trust and respect.
That's right. And if you're lucky, you might just earn a place among the Circle one day. But until then, you do well to focus on your training and prove yourself worthy.
How do the Circle, how do you become a member of the Circle? What is the method? Are they voted for by their peers?
You really don't know how things work around here, do you?
Nope, I don't.
The Circle isn't something you get voted into. It's not a popularity contest. The Harbinger chooses who joins the Circle, and it's based on merit, skill, and dedication to the companions. Podlak Whitemane is the Harbinger, and he knows what's best for the companions.
Why does he know what's best? Seems a bit arbitrary. test. That all seems a bit arbitrary.
Arbitrary? You think you know better than Codlac Whitemane? He's been leading the companions for years, and he's got a deep understanding of what it takes to keep us strong and united. He's not some foolish old man making decisions on a whim. He's a seasoned warrior, and he knows what's best for the companions.
Aye, and if you're lucky, he might even take you under his wing and teach you a thing or two. But until then, you'd do well to show some respect and trust in the system.
I think I'm within my rights to first understand the system and question its merits. Just blindly come along and accept that this man is, you know, the controller of my fate because it's been arbitrarily decided by other means.
Oh, spare me the dramatics. You think you're some kind of hero questioning the system and fighting against the establishment? The companions have been around for centuries, and our way of doing things has worked just fine. If you don't like it, you're free to leave.
Aye, and if you're not careful, you might just find yourself on the wrong end of Codlac's sword. He's not a man to be trifled with, and you do well to remember that.
Well, I don't care to just accept a random leader. I am Dragonborn, and I will make my own judgments about things.
Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Ah, the Dragonborn, are you? Well, I suppose that's a claim worth making. But let me tell you, I've seen my fair share of heroes and villains in my time. And I've learned that it's not just about making judgments about people. It's about understanding the world and its complexities. You'd do well to learn from those who have come before you.
Oh, great. Another Dragonborn who thinks they can change the world. We've seen it all before.
If you really want to be so dismissive of what I offer, then I'll leave.